Michael Flynn used to be National Security Advisor. He was National Security Advisor for a relatively short period of time to the former President Donald Trump. And Flynn has been caught on video saying about a rifle that he was gifted that maybe he'll find someone in Washington, D.C. to use the rifle against. This is the very same former Trump National Security Advisor who was indicted and later pardoned by Donald Trump. Flynn has been appearing at various events across the country, and he did one at a California church. I don't know what about Flynn makes him good material for church appearances. I admit I'm not like an expert in the teachings of Jesus, but something about this guy doesn't strike me as good material for a church. But specifically, this was at the Church of Glad Tidings in Yuba City, California. They gifted Flynn an assault-style rifle, and then Flynn made the remark about maybe I'll find somebody in Washington, D.C. Let's take a look at the video.
That's awesome.
And tell us about your gift.
Yeah.
So we were trying to come up with a rifle that we thought was appropriate for a general. So we went with the old school woodland camouflage. So anyhow, this is one of our top quality guns. And
maybe I'll find somebody in Washington, D.C.
Whoa. And the crowd cheers about maybe finding someone in D.C. with his new shiny rifle. Consider the level of humiliation that this country is enduring globally, thanks to the vestiges of the prior administration. Donald Trump continues to insist that he won an election that he lost, and the world laughs. We continue to struggle to get people vaccinated because of the anti-vaccine sentiment that exists overwhelmingly in Trump supporters, and the world cries because it affects everyone. And now, Donald Trump's own former National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn, gets a rifle as a gift and says, maybe I'll find some people in Washington. And the world is aghast at what is taking place in this country. Rachel Vindman, the wife of whistleblower Alexander Vindman, was among those who rightly denounced Flynn on Twitter. She said that Flynn should, quote, be recalled to active duty and court-martialed. Retired four-star General Barry McCaffrey last month went after Flynn because, remember, Flynn recently called for a Myanmar-like coup in the United States at a QAnon conference. McCaffrey said this is putting the country at risk. I have never heard anything like this in the last 100 years. This is completely irresponsible, provocative language. And quite frankly, if this was anybody but who it is, a former Trump administration official, but if it was some random guy, I suspect the FBI or local law enforcement would be immediately investigating comments like this. This is the guy who encouraged chants in front of crowds to lock up Hillary, lock up whoever. He's done more to warrant being locked up than they have by far. And if you were Flynn, why would you ease up on this stuff, right? I mean, you were convicted. They had you dead to rights. And then Trump pardons you. And before you know it, you're traveling around the country, getting gifts and getting paid for bogus speaking appearances, churches of all places. It makes sense if you were Flynn, you would be feeling emboldened. And by the way, speaking of churches, why is that church tax exempt? Why is any church tax exempt? Maybe churches that raise money to buy gifts of guns should not be tax exempt. Now, I've talked about this before. I understand that when I say churches shouldn't be tax exempt, some people get mad and they write to me and they say, David, churches do education and schools are tax exempt. Churches sometimes run soup kitchens and charities for the homeless, and those are normally tax exempt. Why would you take that away? I have no problem with a church-run soup kitchen as a standalone enterprise, keeping its own books and being a nonprofit. Even though it's a religious education, I don't even really have much of a problem with a church-run preschool or kindergarten being organized as its own entity and getting nonprofit status. But a blanket, you pay no taxes on real estate, you pay no taxes on income, because that's really what it is, it's income, because you have claimed to be a religious entity under the law, that has to go. And it would be a real gold mine of government tax revenue. We could fund all sorts of important things that people love to say, but how would we pay for that? The Washington Post estimates, this is an 8-year-old estimate, it's probably a higher number now, that the U.S. could make about $85 billion per year by eliminating subsidies on churches where they get to pay no taxes. That's real money with which a lot of good could be done. And it's all backwards. The Michael Flynn thing is backwards. Tax exempt churches is backwards. It's all completely backwards. One of our sponsors is Rise, the science-based app that makes it easy to improve your sleep and daily energy. I have struggled with sleep at times in my life. I've tried many different things, and Rise has been really useful. It tracks your sleep debt, which is how much sleep you essentially owe your body, tracks your general rhythms, helps you understand your daytime energy levels. And Rise can improve your sleep and energy by giving you personalized feedback about your sleep metrics, when you should go to bed, when you should wake up, in terms of optimizing your personal rest. It can even tell you things like how long should you expect to be groggy in the morning based on when you wake up. You can make science-based improvements to 16 different habits that will make you feel more rested every day. And most Rise users start feeling that way in the first 5 days, including me. And Rise is still helping me every day. It's great. It's based on real sleep science. Very few things are as important as improving your sleep. Go to risescience.com/Pacman to try Rise free for a week. The link is underneath this video.